So I think you know that AIPAC is both a grassroots organization and also a leadership empowerment organization. So a particular concern to us are not African Americans, but those African Americans that will be part of the Black Caucus, those African Americans that will be governors, those African Americans that will be part of the cabinet of successive administrations. And we have been rather successful in identifying young, emerging political leaders, sometimes when they're in their teens, sometimes when they're on college campuses, sometimes when they're just getting into state politics, and sometimes when they first emerge as congressional candidates. AIPAC built a relationship with Barack Obama before he was a president, before he was a presidential candidate, before he was a U.S. Senator. We built a relationship with him before he was in the Illinois State House. The relationship we built with Sarah Palin was before she was mayor. The groups that we are most excited about bringing to Israel for the first time would be the national, state, and local leaders of the College Republican National Committee and the College Democrats of America. And the fact that we bring them to Israel together, lock them in a bus, don't let them come down from the top of Masada until they understand the importance of working together, may be one of our only hedges against the breakdown of bipartisanship that we're witnessing today.
So in the words of Fannie Lou Hamer, ain't no such thing as I can hate anybody and hope to see God's face. I mean, these people got a lot of damn nerve.
Don't they?
A lot of nerve. But it's amazing. Like, did y'all hear that? They really don't like us.
Not at all.
It's unbelievable that you wanted us to support you in your whole side you got going on over there.
Yep.
You got the audacity to think that we, knowing who we are the most compassionate.
Yes.
We are the most civil.
Understanding.
Yes. And when it comes to taking lives, that's not us anyway. No. How do you expect we supposed to be the ones that's the moral code, right?
We don't want to see you purge a whole people, out of their own land.
So the audacity to say that you're looking for specific groups of coons. Basically,
right.
These are coons.
They're looking to build relationships with knowing or unknowing agents.
It's unbelievable, and this is what has been the problem with Black America all this time, because we've got all of these politicians, paid and bootlicking politicians, who sit here and act as if they represent us
all the time. And get funds to do something for us, but then sit here and then pad their own pockets.
I mean, we have been the most disrespected, marginalized, disregarded, exploited, and the most elated of all other communities.
Wow.
The current state that we are in right now, as the descendants, we are the product of residues of slavery. How? Through economic injustices, racial violence, the prison industrial complex, redlining, discriminatory policies, systematic and institutional racism. And we just heard it right there. They are the reason.
Yeah.
I have always pointed my finger right over to them. I'm like, they are the reason that we're being held back. They are the reason why we don't seem to be able to get ahead. Yeah, we have a lot of superstars,
yes,
who made it, who came out of situations where maybe they were living in poverty and they found their niche, singing,
creative
whatever
thing they found themselves in to make themselves at least appear that they don't have financial means to do some things.
But to hear that's like, how dare you? How dare you keep people down, but you want us to remember your plight? What was the all of
they believe? Oh yeah, they want us to remember that. Well, that happened more recently.
I don't know if we can say that, but you want us to be compassionate about the Holocaust when Black people have had their own Holocaust. Yeah. Nobody seems to want to recognize.
Right. Their Holocaust, in fact, wasn't just them. They messed with other people, like gypsies, other African peoples. They got rid of a lot of people during that wasn't just the ones who use it just for name.
So it's unbelievable to me that we could sit here and listen to that and be okay with that. Like, are we supposed to be that afraid of them that we
can't move without asking them if it's okay? We can't put our shoes on and is this okay? Can we put this shoe on without you trying to put some type of label on me because I'm questioning why you're doing what you're doing to us and others?
And they supposed to be the chosen ones, right?
Well, that's what they're telling us.
So as a chosen people, you have a plan in place. Did you hear? He said he makes sure they don't come off of this, the top of
Mount something, some mountain,
and then locking them in a bus,
right? To make them learn how to work together. Well, how can you say that when you can't work together with people who you walled in? You can't sit in there. Why don't you lock yourself in a bus with a bunch of them so you can have an understanding of how people can be upset because what they stood on for centuries was their own, and then you just come in and say, well, it's ours because this book says so. No, you can't just label yourself as a people in some book.
Right.
How factually correct are you with that?
And the book that I read, they don't match up to that at all.
Not at all.
What I've been seeing, and just even what I just heard, they can't be the chosen ones. They cannot be.
They're acting opposite to that.
Yes.
Because how do you do that? You calling other people animals. You let them die by the thousands, almost on the daily. You've been essentially walling them in. They call it an open air prison over there. It's like Escape from New York and Escape from Los Angeles for real. But they don't let you out except that one time. What they keep bringing us to, like everything started October 7th. Right. No. October 7th ain't nothing. They talk about 1947, 1948 when the Declaration was put together, where you just came up in there, and then you have the Nakba, then you have all these other wars for you to maintain control, and then on top of that, a lot of them believe in Greater Israel. Yeah. Look up Greater Israel. You'll see how much space they want, and that's not theirs. Nope. It was never theirs. They're from Russia, Europe. They're from other places.
So
they're not even from there. Each prime minister of that place has changed their name to make it sound more authentic over there. They mainly changed their names from other names. Mm-hmm. Benjamin Netanyahu that's not his name. Nope. Golda Meir, that's not her name. They all changed their names. I wonder why
that is. So speaking of who they mentioned, they're paid coons.
Coons, yes. Well, what is the definition of a coon? Should we look that up? Look up what a definition is. Because what is a coon? Is a coon just somebody who's tap dancing all the time for their master, or is it and getting paid for it, or is it just somebody who definitely believes that the indoctrination they were put up under, I should say, it has made them turn out to love the person that is oppressed them throughout their whole life? What is that syndrome called? where you believe somebody and you grow attached to them after you're being a hostage to them for so long. I can't place my name on it. It'll come to me.
It's called that goes under that definition. Isn't it? But we call that a coon.
Okay, we got coons, Sambos, and Toms.
And yes, bootlicks. Like, it's crazy that we can sit here after all these years and look at a Jesse Jackson, a Al Sharpton, which right now,
he's in a little,
you know, everybody's got their
water.
time. Everybody's got their time. We've been talking about these black politicians, these supposed leaders.
Reverend Al looks like his perm is falling out. I'm just saying.
He's stressed out right now. He got a lot going on. He got to account for that. What was it? 2 separate checks for $500,000, or was it a total of
$500? A total of 500 with like $250
that he didn't even
to
tell
his non-action network.
Right.
His non-action network.
You know, I hear people say that, you know, well, they do a lot of good things. But see, that's why reparations needs to come in play. See, you're not going to get to the descendants through organizations, activist groups.
No.
Like what I'm seeing,
education.
What I'm seeing now, well, what just happened to the Democrat Party is that now they're going to be looking for fresh blood, new blood, who's got a following. They're going to be looking to try to pay out some of these activists that's coming, you know.
Yes, and form them into a candidate that's acceptable to them.
And that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that we're going to keep seeing this cycle repeat itself. And now we got people who we trusted, like we have done before.
Yes.
We trust them. They say the right things. They stand on reparations.
They're very charming at first.
And then all of a sudden it's starting to back up from reparations and then back up from that. And then before you know it, you don't see or hear from them again.
Right.
See, that's what we don't want. Reparations is a debt that's owed.
Yes, it is.
And what's crazy is you spent all of that money, $2 billion.
Was it $2 billion?
Was it $2 billion?
Man, $2 billion.
Well, I mean, the numbers are all off anyway.
Right.
But I'm saying
$2 billion in 3 months.
Just think about that.
Billion in 3 months.
Think about this. Now,
did it look like they spent that?
We have been talking about reparations
as
a debt that is owed.
It is owed.
And it is well overdue. Oh, you mean to tell me that you had money to send over to Israel? You had money to send over to Ukraine? You have money to give to these immigrants,
Afghans, Iraqis, how many other countries? We went over this. We've been giving it. People who are non-citizens are getting paid to come here and to live here.
And you, you just spent all of this money campaigning when you could have gave us reparations. And bitch, you might. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that word.
I think you did.
You could have possibly won had you get the amount of money that you spent or shoved away or what do you call that? Pocketed,
washed
offshore
accounts.
You could have gave us reparations. Everybody knows that it's a debt that's owed. I don't care what people say. Who gets it? You know who gets it.
Right.
The descendants get it. Right? Yes. The corporations and insurance, cotton, tobacco, mining, railroads, banking.
Every industry.
All industries accumulate the majority of their wealth from our ancestors suffering. So don't act like you don't know. Everybody knows that it's debt that's owed, and everybody knows that this is something that has to happen. It has to happen.
It must.
So the longer you keep waiting, you'll see. I'm just saying, this is something this is the original sin. You cannot Biden go over to where did he go and give them
Angola.
Them to what are you doing skipping over where you
slavery?
You're supposed to be over here handling what you're supposed to deal with over here.
The Chinese.
And this is what makes me wonder that what we just heard. Everybody is us, and they are being led by them folks. Yes. He just said it. They're not looking for. They ain't worried about African Americans. Why you not worried about African Americans? Right. I bet you the Democrats they worry now about us.
Yeah,
because guess what? We are not parents. This is a new group of people. We have been sitting here taking the brunt of all of this. all of this systematic, all this institutional racism. We see it. We're seeing right now a whole replacement of Black Americans from places that they have lived for decades. You know what I mean?
Decades.
Like you putting people out their homes.
Evictions
like,
on the rise
Chicago,
all over.
So, boy, I want to tell you,
Property
Chicago,
taxes.
This city, I have seen much. I mean, I can just tell you about, growing up in the projects, having to deal with, corrupt police. You had to deal with the filth. People don't want to live in the projects. You in a circumstance where you end up having to live in the projects. And I don't take away anything. It was an experience that I needed to experience at that time. So I can tell you that living in the project and being traumatized by seeing, the gang activities, seeing the, sorry, I've seen some bodies as a kid. But I look at the circumstance, like, when you put a bunch of people together,
right,
like that's a powder keg.
Yeah, you're warehousing of people almost.
So what do you expect to happen? I mean, you're not providing
the proper resources.
The proper resources for us to be able to decent jobs. Like it was designed for, because people on the outside can say, well, you get up and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Okay, so you can pull yourself up. Okay, so let's take my situation. So I go to school. I live in the project. Do what you're supposed to do. You go and you graduate from grade school, graduate from high school.
That's what they tell you.
They tell you to go to college, and when you go to college, you're set to get you that good job.
A good job, not to be enterprisal, not to start this, but to go get a job.
Right. Like, why aren't we taught to be self-sustaining? Why can't we be taught to, like, the home ec? We had the workshop.
Yeah.
All those classes, but they're all the trades slowly start going away.
Yeah, because they were working.
So if you really want us to get out of poverty, you really want us to be able to be sane, why do you take away all these different avenues for us to do that? Yes. So you graduate, so I graduated. Okay, right. I got that good job.
Yeah.
Only to be, what do you call it? I want to say only to be railroaded.
Yeah, welcome to the real world of white supremacy.
Yes,
and corruption.
I can say the two jobs that I did have that were decent jobs, which was, I had about 3 or 4 that were decent, but these two in particular were due to some problems with the brown community.
Oh, the beige community.
The community. So that's why my experience told me back then that there was no black and brown coalition. Because if I'm working at a job, I've worked my ears off to get where I am.
Right.
And to have problems with that group from two jobs, let me know not all brown are bad, but these particular ones, and then you stories from other people who has some of the similar stories about a brown is the one that did this, or a brown is the one that did that.
Right.
So you hear these, and then you're like, well, wait a minute. I thought we were supposed to be rainbow.
Right.
Like what Jesse was saying,
right? Yeah.
because both our communities are suffering. And both our communities are, going through some systematic racism. But it's not like that. And it hasn't been like that for a long time. They are getting, like, I think we said this on the last show, that take a look around your communities and take a look around their communities. And you tell me, have some of the nicest schools, if their neighborhoods are not kept very well, they don't have abandoned houses.
Yeah.
They're not denied.
Some of them are squatters.
Yes, they're not denied a lot of as many resources as we have been. So we've been tricked into thinking that we got some issues that are similar to theirs.
Right.
That's not been the case for a long time.
No.
So yeah, I'm glad that we're starting to kind of look outward and look and see, like,
who's really different for us?
Yeah. I don't think we have anybody who really is for us.
What
I
did
really don't.
the writer John Henry Clark said, "We have no friends."
Yeah, we don't. We do not have friends. I was thinking back on I was trying to put together this compilation for YouTube, but of course they banned it.
Oh,
of all
they
these
like
old
banning.
cartoons
Oh,
that was so you talking about racist cartoons. I'm gonna try to run a few through this video, but just amazing how you just think of like why are we the ones that are the most hated, the most disliked when we don't do nothing to nobody.
Nothing to nobody. I can't. I'm trying to think of what is it that we have done. Nothing, and that's it. Because they're scared of what we will do,
and that's what's so sad.
Inherent evil, white supremacist fear that my God, we can't do that for them. Then everything will be right with them. No, we need somebody to step on.
Why can't it be right with us? So we just came back from running some errands.
Yes,
and ran into an
irate gentleman.
A gentleman in Chicago here. It's one thing to have to deal with being displaced from your homes due to eminent domain and other bogus things that they do in Chicago. To try to,
they've been doing this.
And they've been doing this
for rolling freeways through our neighborhoods and everything like that. Destroying buildings just for something like that. The Obama Center was ripping a hole in the whole South Side,
which is one of those lake, which is one of the longest standing Black middle class
neighborhoods, communities, and they flushing them out.
I mean, this is crazy.
Wiping them away.
We are sitting here watching a whole
gentrification happen. It's been slowly going on.
It's slowly, but this right here, it just feels different. This feels different. Like they brought these people over here not only to displace us, but they brought them over here to aggravate us too.
Yes.
They want us to have this race war. They want us to be up in arms with these people. And what makes me so upset is that when we first saw them, we were like, feeling bad for these people. But now we're seeing that these people, you would think you would be humble when you come to it. Like if I went over to Mexico, Ecuador, Guatemala,
you respect their land.
I would respect the land that I'm on. I wouldn't do it. But that's why we are the moral code. These people, and I'm not saying all of them because I don't know all of them, but it's enough of them. I'm seeing enough of them.
The ones I've interacted with, for the most part.
First it was when they first got here. You say hello, they be like hello Venezuela,
hello Venezuela,
hello Venezuela. Ask with their hand out,
amigo, hello, with their hand out, like
everywhere you go, hand out, hello Venezuela, and you're like, wait a minute, now what about all that money that just passed, this 50 million and 45 million from city council? Where's this money going? Right. Why are you out here with your hand out? When y'all getting the handout of all time, because nobody who's on Link, nobody who's on SNAP or whatever other services
government assistance
has ever got as much money as these people like
not at all. Not
so
even close.
That's how I know this is by design. You want to piss us off because if we find out that they getting all of this money, then we got homeless people on the street.
Right. And we are finding out. We're seeing how many receipts.
But you wanted us to find out.
You
wanted us to know this. It's like they just punching us in the face like, now you want reparations?
Right.
We'll show you what reparations look like. We're
like
going to give it to somebody else. And why would you do that? Why won't you just pay this debt? What is the problem with you? Why? It's not like you didn't know it didn't exist.
Well, some people say it don't exist, which is crazy.
For those who say they don't exist, I don't know what world they live in.
They live in another world.
I don't know what world they live in.
It's the one where the world is flat.
Right. So, and for those who may question, look at what's happening to Black America right now. You can't tell me that you don't see something wrong with that. Look at how the crimes are different for us and everybody else. And I'm including Hispanics too.
Yeah.
Look at the crimes for how these new people. Hey, do you think they all going to jail? Do you think they all staying in jail? There is some type of plan that these people get to do some of these crimes and get to walk free.
Walk right out.
Walk right on out. And that's crazy to me.
You should be deporting them if they do a violent crime or something.
And even with that, you mean to tell me that y'all gonna stand in the way of Trump and Tom Homan coming into these cities, especially Chicago,
Right.
to deport
We call it ICE.
people who are committing crimes. You mean to tell me that you would stand in the way of that? Then hey, you know what? He need to take you to jail too.
Yeah.
And then when I'm looking around, and
Lock
I'm
up
like,
with him.
remember how we would hear about all of the gun violence that was
Yes.
going on in Chicago? Of course, they spotlight Chicago like, oh, so much gun violence. Okay,
Right.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
always
yeah. Like what it is what it is. Okay, so what happens is you got gangs, they infighting. These are young people. You know, hey, they're doing things that you know, a lot different from what I remember. It was more organized.
Right.
So you got that aspect over there. Then you got you know, the situation that we've always been in. There's poverty.
Right.
What do you expect? People are trying to find ways to feed their families,
Yeah.
to have a sustainable life, you know, a roof over their head, you know, so things like this will happen. What do they say? When you are put, you know, you put under pressure,
Yes.
you
when you have no other avenue, you have to lash out and do what you got to do to survive.
Yes. Then what are you? That's that survival. You go into survival mode.
Yeah.
So when I hear, you know, you hear about all these these gun violence incidents, guns. What's different now is you're hearing about more stabbings,
A lot of
blades,
a lot of stabbings.
So these crimes where you hear somebody got stabbed, if it's not somebody white, best believe it's somebody from Venezuela or Guatemala, whoever is here, because all of them look alike to me. So these new people are doing the stabbing. You ain't hear nothing about all of these stabbing, slicing, dicing, cutting up people, putting them in bags. That's a new element to our community, to the area of Chicago in general. Like you don't hear about this stuff, so you know who it is. And sometimes they won't even say the name. Nope. I mean, of course, they probably got like 3 or 4 names, but you could at least give an inkling of, okay, this is a migrant who committed this crime. It's like they almost wanted to hide this.
Yes.
Especially while she was running. Try to hide this. Like making us think we crazy. Like we live here. We know what's going on.
We see it.
Like, oh my God, it's such a they're spreading, what is that? Fake news, misinformation.
What is that?
About eating the dogs, eating the cats.
Either you're lying or not.
You know,
it's just misinformation, disinformation. What is factually accurate? You're either lying about the history, you're lying about the events, you're lying about what occurred, or you're not. There's no misinformation. You can skew a poll, you can skew some evidence to lean towards whatever you're trying to say, but there is no mis or disinformation. That's one of them meaningless terms. Either you're lying or you're not lying.
Okay. So they overpricing. That's what the guy was saying.
Yeah,
so,
he was very irate. And what I didn't see how he went in. How did he come into the place where I was at? I was already in there ordering, and then he came in and he was like walking back and forth. But what did he look like when he
looked like he had a lot on his mind, like most of us here. Most of us in Black America, we walk still peaceful, but we got a lot on our minds because this is really getting crazy out here.
It is. And that's what he was saying. He was saying, you know what, I peeped something. And I'm like, what's that? He's like, you know, man, for real, I peeped something. I was like, okay, well, you know what, I peeped something. I said, you know, just here, they taxing us more from 47th on in this city. And I'm like, what do you mean, like, for 47th going south? He's like, yeah. And he's saying, well, this place I went to over here, it costs this much for these 2 items, but here it costs this much for 2 items. And I counted, well, it might have been a franchise, you know, because sometimes franchises charge more. He's like, but check this. I went to this place too over here. Normally, what would cost you $20 in the north side or down or somewhere? It costs $30 over here. I'm like, man, and he was very upset. He's like, you know, it's like we're not doing enough. We got to get these people out of here. And I'm like, yeah, we're not holding these people. We talking about our politicians. We're not holding them accountable and getting them out of office, but somebody who's going to work for us. And of course, he had somebody to name that he wanted to put in there, but I ain't no much agree. But what we did agree on, we need to put these people's feet to the fire and hold them accountable to do what's right for the people instead of their own pockets, which is what we agreed on. I told him to take care. He said, stay safe or take care as well. Be good out there. We left peaceful. But he was very irate about what's going on. Yeah,
he should be. Yes. We all should be. We should
all
be
Chicago
outraged.
Residents should be.
We should be
not Chicago visitors, residents. We should be irate.
We should be outraged at what we're seeing in our communities, what we're seeing now that he's, and those are things that we pay attention to, but we really don't focus on like, this is, because the price of everything is going up, but really honing in on what areas, even with inflation, what areas are having higher prices than other areas. We should all be suffering on the same level,
right?
So you mean to tell me that you giving us an extra tax on what we spending in our communities? I mean, this is some bogus shit right here.
It is. And come to think of it, is that the TIF, the tax incremental financing, which is what they did. They did charge people in these neighborhoods, and that fund was supposed to go to what? Blighted communities to help them and uplift their game. But then the last few mayors, where did it go to? It went for stadiums, it went for the Navy Pier, it went for Northside schools. Those do not go under the category of blighted. What the hell are they doing?
Like, it's crazy.
They stealing our money and padding their own pockets, which is what they've been doing. Why they keep giving deals? As soon as Boeing, as soon as their taxes was about to go to normal, the Boeing was headquartered in Chicago. As soon as Boeing's time limit for taxes went up, we got to go. We'll go over here where it's less taxes. Just like that, all those people out of job. As many as they say went with them. Come on now, you're going to uproot your life and move to Chicago. We're not athletes. Not playing for a team.
Okay, right. So we sick and tired of this. Like, it's just too much. I don't know what they expect for us to do. Do you want us to snap? Do you want us to just go and get up in arms and get suited and booted and do something? Is that what y'all really want? Because I don't really think you want that. You couldn't possibly want the people who have suffered as long as we have suffered to start getting suited and booted. You do not want that.
No.
So don't act like you want it, because you really don't.
They don't want no organized rage. What they want is to keep it what is going on, where they make everybody snap individually, had to go through their little thing. We saw somebody else rocking in one of them new, very nice bus standing little shelter things. It's like, wait a minute, where did that come from? It comes from JC Decao in France, came over here. You couldn't have nobody in Chicago fix that up. You had to go to another private company. They keep going private. They keep going. When they go private, what's the first thing that goes down? Quality goes down. And what's the second? Black people and people in the city who work for that company. It's now they bringing in people in the suburbs. So now you got a foreign company, a company that's private, is not even benefiting the people of the city of Chicago. That parking meter deal should have never went through.
Yep.
You got the parking meter. You got the bus depot stand with it. Is CTA a private? It's supposed to be public transit. Is it private now? They're about to merge, right? Pace in the CTA public transit. This is crazy. These are supposed to be public entities for the people, and so we can run it, so we can question
and
stuff.
Our elected officials are supposed to be for the people, but we see they are not.
No, therefore
they are not. They're for their own
interest,
and they want to build their own generational wealth. It's so crazy to me that we got people that look like us who are actively undermining anything that has to do with helping us with anything,
in which in turn is going to drown themselves. Their family ain't going to be able to exist out here with what's going on.
Do you know when you replace us, you replace you? You're replacing yourself. You pumping up these groups who will never vote for you if they come in large numbers.
No,
they are setting y'all up. And then when you talk about AOC thinks she's slick.
Yeah,
she trying to use this moment. First, she pumped up Kamala, saying they getting ready to skip out on y'all, girl. Y'all better get together and make sure you get her in. They trying to skip over her. Meanwhile, she working behind the scenes like, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna stand with Kamala.
Yeah,
really knowing that I'm running next time.
Right.
So I'm sensing that she thinks that she's gonna make this run because she thinks that, you know, she's got all of these followers on
Right.
Blue Sky and all these other platforms, and
But she's got a fake backstory too.
She's slowly working her way, thinking that she's gonna get all her people over here because
Yeah.
all she needs is her people to vote, and then a couple of, you know, a few of us.
Uh-huh.
And she thinks that she got it. She got to move. You know, she's got it all in. She'll be the president, right? She'll be the president.
Yeah.
But
she's got a fake
Miss
background
Lady,
story too.
Miss
She's
Lady,
not no waitress.
Miss Lady. Let me explain something to you. First of all, your girl had every possible scenario to go in her favor.
Yeah.
She had, if not, it felt like all the actors and actresses was behind her.
Yes.
She had all
rows and droves,
just corporation after corporation endorsing her. Like she had everything work in her favor. Like if I was a donor and I saw what just happened, how do you trust anybody after that? Because you got Beyonce. If Prince was here, Prince wouldn't have. But I mean, like you got Prince the most high profile people all in your corner, and including Republicans.
Yes.
Everything was laid out on the table for this lady.
Yeah. And she
still lost.
She still couldn't answer her questions.
How do you trust anybody to run behind that? Like the standard of that loss? I don't even know how y'all recover from that. Y'all need to pay them reparations.
Yes, you do.
I mean, had you done that, you wouldn't have egg on your face. Had you done that, you would be crying and now trying to figure out who you pointing the finger at. Oh, it was this because of that. Oh, it was because your girl was a dud. You had a dud candidate who was trying to think or make us believe that she was a whole Black woman, and she was not. Her neck shows Indian. That's how they age. Look at her skin. Look at her skin. That's a whole Indian texture skin. That's how you know she was not Black. I don't care about AKA. I don't care about if she was any part of any other organization. Miss Lady could not pass the smell test with real Black Americans.
Not
Sorry,
at all. That's what happens.
I know an Indian when I see one, and I never let up on that. I was like, I don't care who her daddy is. I don't care what she's saying, how she raised. You are not us.
Not at
and
all.
You will never be us.
No, not no tub washing green style. No.
Watching her do that last interview drunk in the mud.
Drunk. Oh, that was to her campaign people who volunteered and those who didn't.
Allegedly, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I know what I saw, but I don't want no problems. Yeah. So allegedly, she was drunk and high. That's all I'm saying. She surely looked. I didn't watch Crackheads when I was little just to see how they react when they like. It was a place where I was like in the alley, right? As a kid, I was a nosy little kid. So I'm in there. I'm looking through. I think my mother had the best view. It was like looking through the window and a straight shot through the alley, and I saw them, see these couple of people, and I'm just watching them, do their thing, shoot up, and then just how their head go down, they start nodding, and then I'm looking at their eyes and their face, and I'm like, so I know what that face looks like. I know what drunk looks like. So Miss Lady was, she was on some sauce. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. She was on a little sauce.
Yeah, she didn't have enough help to set up her positions in any of those interviews, really.
And to hear about Obama, like, we fell for this dude.
Yeah.
Like, we fell for this dude. I can't believe I actually was proud and happy to stand in the longest line to vote for this man. We had just got off work. We got to get in. We got to go get this vote in. We gonna vote for Obama.
He gonna do something for us.
Yeah. And we fell for it again because they said, well, he can't do nothing in his first
He's not
term.
Gonna do nothing.
He's got to be the president.
He got to hold that Black stuff for the next one.
So we voted for him again.
Yeah.
So
Thinking he was a Black person.
I think that was the turning point.
Person of color.
That was a turning point for us because you had enough time to push in LGBTQ issues, DACA. Not us though.
Not
it's
us
your last term. And then you got the audacity now, after all these years, thinking that we forgot about that,
right?
To come and then try to scold down the Black men
like we're children.
talk down to black people? Like, are you serious?
You know,
Mr.
that didn't help
Obama?
at all.
Then he gonna send you an email. What did he say? He wants you to meet.
He wants to, yes, he wants to meet, but he wants me to donate. Like, the highest he wanted was like 25 grand,
Yeah.
and the lowest was $25. I'm like,
They said,
why
hey,
would I give to you? You ain't do nothing for me.
they trying to copy Trump.
They
Like,
can be
because Trump
sweet.
had his donation,
Yeah.
all this time, and now they're like, well, let's see if we can get some people to donate to for the what was it, a recount?
The Obama,
like, girl,
right.
you ain't real. What you
No,
recount?
no,
You
no.
ain't got enough votes. You lost.
You lost.
Girl, just get into some covers, put
But
your
like,
head under the pillow, and
right.
admit that you lost. You finally did not win.
Right.
You didn't win because you've always been pushed to this position, pushed over here, treated like a freaking
You'll
princess.
always be second best. Just think of it like that. That's always a good thing, you know.
But that's so embarrassing.
Well, third best, because she's the third best,
What's
because
so
it's
sad?
Vice President Vance.
What's
And
so sad is she really was devastated. I mean, I think at some point she didn't want this shit. She was like, I don't even want this shit no more.
But she left the school. She left everybody outside in the rain. Like, y'all just, I'm going to drink.
But for her to not even regard her people that was standing out there all of hours and crying because they devastated that she lost.
Yeah.
But she didn't even come out to even thank them. Like, to me, that was the coldest thing you could do.
She sent somebody.
Like you could, it's like misery loves company.
Yeah.
Like, go out there with your fans.
That would have been the proper thing to do.
It would have been like this big, like uproar of support. Like, oh my God. You would feel the pain.
Put your big girl pantsuit on and go out there. Pop your collar, be like, hey, I came in second best. Thanks, everybody.
I mean, I got my money. My husband got some money.
She had her money.
Apparently
she spent it all.
Oh, but that lady. I mean, and you had the nerve. Not only did you say that you weren't gonna do nothing specific to black people, you took the Freedman's Bank. I will never let up on that. Baby, how dare you take the Freedman's Bank and remix it to include other groups? How dare you? When slavery was a specific group, and you know who that is.
It's all in the language. I mean, she keeps doing that too. It's like, this is for black people. This right here that I wrote, that you didn't write. But this is what I wrote and everything. We showed you guys. This is for black people and others.
Yeah,
and others.
So
are others also everybody?
It's sickening. I'm sick of Jesse. I'm sick of Al.
Well, you can't be sick of Jesse. He ain't said nothing in a minute.
Well, he's sick right now. But we still got it, not in this state that he's in, but the younger and the middle-aged Jesse, before he got in the wheelchair, he was living foul. You were living foul. You took money from, what was it, Ford?
I think they got a big fat check from Toyota that I ain't see.
That's it.
I ain't see a cut from that.
Even hearing about it was an activist that's here in Chicago.
Yes.
That supposedly received money from Chase and an activist. So, and I don't like to do that to people, to put them out there, but we got a lot of little some activists out here who claim to be for the people. They are, but they will take that bag.
They'll make statements, but they'll take the bag and then side.
And see, that's what we sick and tired. Well, at least I'm sick and tired of it.
Black Lives Matter too, with all the money they got over. My goodness, she got so much money. And did that go to any of the parents who had lost? I mean, wow.
I cannot. I'm sorry. I love when we have people that support the movement, who know that reparations is something that's it. Like, ain't no more nothing. Just give us the reparations.
Reparations is old.
It's old and it's due. But if you start talking about reparations and then you end with something else, and then slowly you start seeing these people back up a little bit, and you see them doing well.
You saw that in California.
They get paid. Yeah. They're getting paid. So now we got a new whole activist groups who getting paid. And that's not what this is supposed to be about. You end up being the people that you talk about. So if you can live with yourself saying that you don't like what Jesse did, you don't like what Al did, but then you get in a position where you are supposed to be supporting, us as a people, and reparations is something that we are saying now that we want, and it's due.
Lineage based.
Somehow it changes from to something else. So you don't want to be the people that you talk about. So if you don't want to be that person, you want to be the Jesse, you want to be the Al, you don't want to be who else? There's so many of them.
It's
I mean, I can
almost
keep
all
going.
of them. I mean,
You-
people we ain't
you
heard from
end
in a
up
minute
being
because they're
just
in
like
legal
them.
trouble.
You end up being just like them. And guess what? All these politicians that's been doing all this shady shit, they're gonna get caught up. And it's about that time. We talk about being this is the time of exposure, truth. A lot of them have to be exposed too. It's time for them to be exposed. We have been in our situation for long enough to finally realize that all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Black faces in high places.
It's so sickening. Like we shouldn't have to keep dealing with this. And how we don't deal with this anymore? Reparations.
Yeah.
Reparations is the only answer. And I'm not talking about in no fund where somebody is at the top having to delegate who gets what. No. And freak a study. You've done the study. You see, look, we live in a study right now. Add this on. You displacing us from our communities. You sitting here giving them all types of money and resources, cars.
You're letting innocent men die in jail.
You know, like how dare you
letting them die and executed when they're innocent?
How dare Biden pardon his son after you are the crime bill man who
put all your son crackheads, put all these other crackheads in, and you ain't rescind them. You didn't let them out.
I don't want to hear no. Well, you know, his only survivor son. This dude is how old is Biden? 89, 200.
Right.
Like, give me a break.
No, other people got people who that's their last loved one, and they're in jail.
Yes.
On innocent
that's how you know
BS
racism.
Charges.
That's how you know racism still exists. People don't want to have that conversation.
Not
but
at
that's
all.
how you know racism still exists.
They run it backwards
in the
on
back
that
of your mind. As soon as you hear about reparations, if you got any inkling to say, "Oh, well, wait a minute, you're racist,"
yes,
and I'm saying that, yes, you are, because that makes no sense that you could see a people suffering, have suffered. You see our ancestors how they suffered. You heard about it, you read about it, and you saying that we don't deserve reparations. You saying it's a handout. If you know what really happened back then. For you to even fix your mouth, to say it's a handout and that we don't deserve it and who's gonna get it. You know, any type of your mind starts wondering like, well, why do y'all anything that you wonder about when it comes to reparations? Something is wrong with you.
Yes,
it makes no sense.
None at all. That you want your family to work for free labor till you die. You don't want that to be paid back. No. You don't want that to be paid back. We're not even talking about none of this. We're just strictly talking about these people were bought and brought here and then worked to death.
To death.
If they got here, they worked to death, worked and tortured.
You know, I've got my mother who picked cotton. She couldn't go to school on certain days because she was picking cotton. So they missed out on schooling from doing like labor on plantations. You know, God rest her soul, because I lost her 2 years ago. However, you know, it just baffles me that people can still sit here and look at us and say, well, you in the situation you in because you lazy.
Yeah.
You're in the situation you
work. Your people work for free for generations.
Y'all hang out in corners. Y'all just want to drink and smoke and shoot and kill. Like, for you to even fix your mouth to say something like that, and especially from a Hispanic and an African.
Man.
Those two groups really just
they let us down.
They y'all something else. Y'all are something else.
I'm in despair thinking about that. It's
to say something like that. It's just crazy to me. Like, if it wasn't for us, neither one of you groups would be here.
Not at all.
Y'all wouldn't even be here to even say anything. And by the way, Africans, you know how much we loved y'all. We took a lot of cracks because of trying to support or trying to defend our African heritage.
Yes.
You know, they would call us African booty scratchers. We know we ain't African. Right. We know that, you know, we not
chuckers.
You know, all these names we had to deal with. Yeah. And that was because of y'all. Not because of us.
Right.
They calling us African booty scratchers. So when y'all come over here and y'all praise, we call it the white man.
Yeah.
I mean the WP.
The controlling entity.
Yes, when you come over here and praise him and say that, oh, he's not doing it. There's no racism. Look, you can work over here. I can go to school over here. I can
provided grants,
I can do this. And
finances.
yes, you have to look at what has happened. If my understanding serves me correctly, I heard that most immigrants get a lecture or talking to about avoiding the Black community.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, right there should tell you, like, well, wait a minute, why don't they want us around
right
them?
now?
What have they done?
Right.
That they don't want us around them. So
it's almost like that the opening video that they show you when you work at some place where they're like, oh, don't you hang around these Negroes because they act a little different. It's because we're oppressed and they don't want you to hear the oppressed point of view. Mm-hmm. History is written by who we would call the winners.
It's like, wow.
And they lie. I mean, all the stuff we find out now that we should have been taught in school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All the interesting facts, all the interesting nuances of how this country was founded again on other people's land.
Mm-hmm.
How this country sits up here and supports another group of people taking over another people's land. And then reverse that, Charlie. How they say, well, we don't want you to invade these people's land over here,
right.
But this land over here is okay. We're not gonna say nothing about it. It just doesn't make sense
at all.
With this corrupt country, it's a capitalist society.
Yes, it is.
And this capitalism to me means you earn a great deal of profit off of the backs of other people's working.
Mm-hmm.
Off the backs of other people's ingenuity, off the backs of other people's discovery, off their knowledge, because that's all they've done. To find out all these people who invented so-called this and that, they got those ideas from others who couldn't patent it,
right? Because
they legally couldn't patent it because they were Black.
Exactly. And I wish people really knew the history of that. You know, talk about we don't have culture. Damn it, we are the culture. Everybody wants to be like us. Everybody.
They want to understand. They want that rhythm. They want that sound. They want that artistic thought. They want that understanding of the nuances of life. We're closer to the planet because we were here first. Yes. Biologically, no two white people can create anything of color.
Nope.
So, and in fact, they have the Neanderthal DNA. They're another species.
They sure are.
They call us monkeys, and they are cave people.
Have you seen? Really pay attention to what a monkey look like. Now, if you compare who really look like a monkey, that's the last thing y'all should have been calling us. Like really, like
they got the straightest hair.
Don't do that.
They got the thinnest lips, and they are pale than a mother. And they got hair all over their body. What does that sound like?
Okay, good. Y'all need to stop it, monkeys. Yeah, I'm running some of these racist the pictures of us too. I'm just gonna run them all through.
All
you know,
the
Aunt Jemima cups and the you know the what was it? The tobacco chew and say
big
nigga chew, nigga chew or something like that. I'm sorry for the
lawn jockeys with big shiny red lips.
It's crazy.
Man.
I mean, what do you want? What do they want us to do? Do they want us to?
They want us out of the way, but if you get us out of the way, then you lose your own.
Yes.
You lose yourself because you can't get rid of the people who were here first.
Right.
You do that, you're gone. I mean, everything comes from Black people. Everything came out of the motherland. Everything.
We have a certain spirit that comes with us. That's why they couldn't win. You didn't have that spirit. It seemed like every Black person in all of these states voted for Kamala. Let them tell it.
Right.
They said everybody.
Right. So the majority of those who did vote. If everybody voted, it'd be different.
If we're such a small group
Keep
of
saying
people,
13%.
which is some bull.
Yeah.
But if we're such a small, why are you so worried about us?
Right.
You know, and then you had a lot of black people that voted for you.
90,
but you still
92% of black
It's
women,
because you're missing the
87% of black men.
You're missing that spirit. It's a descendant of slavery spirit. It's us. That's what you're missing. So you will never succeed in anything without paying this debt. It's time. The debt is due. Pay the debt. How much you gonna pay? True. It should be.
It's in the 30s, 30 trillion and counting. You know,
It's
plus
counting.
we got to add in interest.
You know, and don't act like you don't know who it belongs to. You know exactly. All the times I didn't have to go to the doctor and they take my blood and they're supposed to take a blood sample and they bring in all these vials. You know who we are. Y'all love to take our blood. Like we need to take this. We just need to take a little bit of blood to test you for. Why you need all of that blood though?
Right.
Like, and then we need you to come back in a couple of weeks. Like, they blood suckers. Like, they've been, so you got enough of my blood. You got enough of all of our blood.
Yes.
You know who we are.
Yeah.
And the time is now to do this. Like, how much longer do you expect for us to wait? You just showed us, because before, you know, they always say, well, we don't have it. We don't have it. No, not only do you have it, you've been had it. You could have been giving it to us.
Giving it to everybody else.
Ain't no studies. We sick of this whole, we got to study. All the money you paying for the studies, that can go into the reparations.
Right. Why are you paying them?
Like, what are you doing?
You paying them
Just
to shut up and say nothing.
You know, and then who's over the reparations? Let's talk about that.
Yes.
We need actual Black American descendants.
Right.
I'm sorry.
We're
going to stop saying Black Americans. We're going to say lineage. We want the lineage on these committees.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going to do a study, if you're going to do a study, at least have the lineage. But at this point, we don't even want that. We want the reparations. We sick and tired of this because you're paying money to have, you know, for the study to happen. You know, so these people getting paid. You have people on these committees who not even us.
Right. You know,
so that's the first thing.
That's a big
and then
slap.
to find out, because we had discussed that Brandon Johnson wasn't from here. He's from Elgin. Now to find out he's Haitian. So stop with this mixing and matching of us. We're done with all of that. We are done with all of that because apparently they don't understand our plight. They don't understand us as Black Americans. They look down upon us for some reason. Yeah, and we don't even do nothing but support you. So I don't understand how y'all can come over here, look like us, try to act like us, dress like us, speak like us, but you don't like us. Right. And then you sound like them, talking about when you lazy. How dare you fix your mouth to say somebody lazy when you fled your country to come over here? You fix your country up. I like when Tariq says that. Fix your own country.
Yeah, why can't you?
Like, why are you over here? And even if you do, let's say yes, you come over to a country and you make that money. Take that money back to your country and start building over there. Why do you stay over here since you love Africa? I heard that girl say, it seems like everybody is biting off of Africa and want African things. They're wearing beads. They're wearing this. They're wearing that. Like, first of all, sweetheart. What are you talking about? Are you over there telling us this? Because if you're not over there telling us this, girl, shut up. You know, girl, just shut. Hush your mouth. Hush your mouth, child. Just stop it. Stop it. We don't dislike anybody. We love all races of people.
We just can't stand the ones who are fighting for our detriment.
Yeah, the ones that do that. That's where the problem comes in. That's when you get the lineage, back up. Like, hold on, wait a minute.
Right? Who is you?
Wait a minute. Where you come from? Who you talking to? Who you talking to? What are you talking about? You don't know enough about history to understand what we have been saying, that reparations is a debt that is owed to the descendants. Yes, it's always going to be that.
It's always.
So
legally, there's no obligation.
There's no other, and I don't understand why by now it hasn't been done. I don't understand it.
They tried to start it right after it happened, and Reconstruction was going towards that, but then they made the deal.
I heard this boy say, and I'm going to say boy, because ain't no real man going to fix his mouth to say this. He said, we don't need reparations. We already got it. Who the hell told you that? Yeah. And where did that come from?
Right. And who's we?
We. Maybe you're not from here.
Right. You
it was somebody from Chicago. And I was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, they had these, these ones that are with you on certain like with the immigration,
Uh-huh.
but when it comes to reparations, he on something totally different because he's probably not from the lineage.
Right.
And so even with that, how dare you, because you are not included in what we suffered, you jealous and you mad and you expect you say we shouldn't have it
Right.
because you mad that you're not included. That's not fair.
No.
Like, how dare you even do something like that? Do you see us going, if y'all was getting reparations over in South Africa, Ghana, wherever?
They
Do you think that we gonna sit here and be like, oh well, we need to go over there and get that? No, that's not who we are.
No.
And that's what makes us different. That's why we are different. That's why we cannot say that we are actually African Americans.
No.
We are a total different group because we think different, we feel different.
Right.
We have different our spirit is just
Our
different.
culture is different
It's
here in this
different
country.
from you.
They don't say that with white people.
You know.
White people were immigrants over here,
Yes.
and then after generations, they became what? Americans. So black people came over here, and after generations, they became what? Black Americans. Now, some of us were already here in this land.
Yes.
We understand that.
Yes.
But there wasn't no crackers here. There
It
wasn't
sure
no WH
Nope.
IT E
Okay.
here.
I don't even know what we can say because they getting ready to ban TikTok, so ain't no telling what's about to happen
Right.
with all these platforms. But you're only doing that because you see the people are waking up.
Right.
You
Getting
see
the
to
truth
be
out.
able to get truth out. We're talking. We're starting to kind of like come together. It's a lot of strange stuff happening out here. I'm looking
Yes.
out the window and it looks like the sun.
is
moon
pink.
is pink or orange. So it's a movement in the earth right now. And I would
We got
think,
2 moons floating around the planet.
I would think that if there is a higher power that you truly believe in, that you might want to get your house in order. And your house
Yes.
in order would mean that you need to be working on getting the descendants their reparations. You know this is a debt that's been owed.
Damn Skippy.
It's time to pay it. It's time to pay it. You will not live well. I know you probably go home and lay in your nice comfy couch and look around at all of the boot licking and and shoe shining, looking at all the wealth around you,
Right.
but you're not gonna be happy.
Not at all.
You're not gonna be happy.
You're going
at
to be
all.
vacant inside.
Yeah, you're just not gonna be happy. Look at Biden. Biden is just, I mean,
He's a shell of a man.
it's like you are a dirty son of a gun.
He's a dirty
You
liar.
A dirty son of
You'll
a gun.
sit here. I'm not going to pardon my. I'm not going to wait a minute.
Yes, I am.
I'm a pardon him.
And it's more to come. I believe that he's gonna do the Clintons, the Obamas. I mean, and he might be like, nah, the way y'all push me out, I ain't giving you shit. You ain't getting one, and you ain't nasty, you ain't getting one because you started it.
Yeah.
So he might be spiteful. I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
But for y'all to make us think that y'all a different party than the Republicans, you
were the same party years ago.
Hey, what we just saw, what we just witnessed, y'all the same party.
Yeah.
You ain't no different from who you claim to be the evil side. Like, we looking at y'all promoting getting sex change. I'm sorry, not that word, but getting those changes to your organs.
You're transforming yourself.
Yourself.
Genital mutilation.
And that's like a big plight for you. That's okay. I guess if that's what y'all want.
I mean, it's messy. This
That's what
pronoun
you
era
want.
is very confusing,
It
especially
is.
when the pronouns aren't accurate.
You know?
Can't say this is this when it is that. You know, it's either something there or it's something not.
Something not.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Well, everybody,
Well,
thanks for listening
thanks
again.
for
We hope
listening.
you enjoyed
Hope you
everything.
enjoyed.
We just like you to
We
say,
just like you to say,
if you enjoyed it,
if you enjoyed,
you can like or
you can
subscribe.
like or subscribe.
You can donate
Or if you
to
donate,
$ just to
$,
get by shy. Thank you so much. You can also listen to Relax with Miss Tish. Relax after, getting all irate and everything like we are in the city. And or a little bit rage. You can watch that too and everything. And thank you
And thank you
for
for
watching our show.
watching our show.